It's finally happened. A boy so smart, he's stupid.
If government can protect kids from the sick radical left, shouldn't they also protect kids from hunger? Wouldn't it make sense to strengthen food stamps and have school lunch be free, since some kids are in school lunch debt? If you are a parent, school lunches are not going to solve the problem of child hunger at any serious level.
Ben, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but, technically, food is the only solution to hunger. You ever tried eating money when you're hungry? I seen a baby eat a bunch of nickels one time. Yes, a bunch. Meaning 1 nickel would not curb that baby's hunger. 1 nickel would not satiate that baby.
If there is a problem of children actually starving, that is a child endangerment scenario in which CPS needs to be called. If you're talking about like actual child starvation, the truth is it does not take that much money to feed a child. I know I have 3 of them. You should be feeding your child before you feed yourself. It's that simple. There's a much deeper problem at work than school lunches if kids are legitimately starving.
Ben Shapiro answers the question, what if Ritalin could talk? Ben also answers the question, what if that Tom Hanks movie Big had a sequel called Little? Instead of a kid turned into an adult transformed into a snotty middle schooler. Maybe what we're seeing here with Ben is a case of before a mouth syndrome. That's when you got a butt for a mouth. Because you can't say stuff like this.
All of the water levels around the world rise by let's say 5 feet, say 10 feet by the next 100 years. And it puts all the low-lying areas on the coast underwater, right? Which, let's say all of that happens. You think that people aren't going to just sell their homes and move?
Just one small problem! Sell their houses to who, Ben? Fucking Aquaman!
Without people knowing, you're full of shit. Maybe we just treat Ben the opposite of how he wants to treat hungry children, and we take it easy on him. Ben did grow up in a bubble where every problem he faced was imaginary. Let's say, just like the hypotheticals in all of his debates. Maybe what we're seeing here with Ben is a rare case of Boy Karen's disease. Boy Karen's is a rare affliction, hardly ever affecting pint-sized men, but it does happen. It's where these boys act like Karens. They want to criminalize everything that makes them feel weird. And boy, do we see Boy Karen's disease on full display like a beautiful peacock strutting its tail feathers. When we see Ben, let's say Shapiro, a smart and well-nourished boy, using his power and influence to fight for hungry children to be made orphans. The true mark of a man. Using all that influence you have to fight for hungry kids to take on debt to get their food. And or be made orphans. It's heroic. But, we must ask what qualifies Ben to solve these problems? What makes people believe Ben has the qualification to answer these questions? Ben's made it clear he has no financial hardships. He easily can feed 3 children and probably tell you the price of groceries. Thus, making Ben unqualified to speak on this issue. He's talking about something he knows absolutely nothing about. And people usually seek qualified individuals for answers.
Shut up and dribble.
Like when drugs come up for debate, and someone says, let's seek the advice of a professional. My response is always, what qualifies this person as a professional on drugs? How many drugs have they done? You can study drugs all you want, but until you've had first-hand experience, you ain't a professional. You gotta actually play in the NBA to be considered a pro, not just read about it. So what qualifies Ben to speak on poverty, financial hardship, or hunger if he's never experienced it? Let's say I told you there was a child who was hungry. Would you want them to have food without going into debt or being made an orphan? Pause. We gotta reword that. Would you want them to have some food without being taken from their parents? What else are we gonna criminalize? Maybe we could criminalize people not being able to afford oil to heat their homes. Or maybe we criminalize people who can't afford a car. This is really the height of intellectualism, not trying to solve hunger, but trying to figure out how do we punish it. We're either part of the problem or the solution. Yeah, I know, nobody says queef anymore. So disappointing. He's America's top queef.